Hey everyone, Mark here at Funky Moose Records. This came in the mail. Uberlight Flex. Reliable, right there with you. That's what it says on the box anyway. So let's see what's inside. A little while ago, Robert got in touch with me to see if I was interested in checking out this Uberlight Flex. Hi Mark, I'm super excited for you to check this out. Check out our new Uberlight Flex. Thank you, Robert. Robert's the president of the Reliable Company. This is the Uberlight Flex 3100 TL. It's a professional grade task light for home and work. So I think we're going to be using this to help us grade records. Obviously, it's oops, that's not how you're supposed to do that. I think more like that. Okay, so let's check out the back a little bit. It's hard to. It's a big box, so it's hard to get it in the shot right with the tripod here. We'll read all that later. Here's a picture of the light itself. So let's take it out of the box. Flex. Anywhere, anytime, Uberlight Flex. Nicely packaged. Pretty straightforward. This is the manual. It's a light, so, you know, clamp it on. So this one has, you can set several color temperatures. On, off, 2, 4, and 6 watt. Let's check it out. Oh, it has a soft touch finish. Interesting. Okay, so this is pretty big, so I'm gonna zoom out for a bit. So I'm just gonna go here and clamp it to my desk so I can plug it in and see what it looks like. So this is the LED strip. This is the clamp that comes with it, so you can, you know, clamp it on your Kallax, for example, to hang it over your turntable. Right now, I'm just gonna do it over my desk. The end is a USB plug, but I saw in the box that it also comes with a regular 110. Get it out. Plug. So it's pretty straightforward. You clamp it like this. The cable's a little bit in the way, but it's minor. Then we plug it in. Like that. So I turn the light off so we can see the difference. The buttons are on top of the light itself. So this is 2 watt, 4 watt, and 6 watt. And then here is the button for daylight. I don't know what they're called, but so you have a warm light, brighter light, and a daylight. And then you can set those to, of course my camera is adjusting to the light, but yeah, so this is for when you're ambient listening to your records, and then if you want to grade records you can use these ones here. So yeah, let's have a chat with Robert.
You don't need me to do anything else, right? You had mentioned something other.
Yeah, just sit there, be pretty, I guess.
All right. That's asking a lot, Mark, but
yeah. Oh, sorry. Tell us a little bit about the company, because you do more than just making these lights.
yes, we do. We are 66 years, I believe, in business, second generation family business located in Midtown Toronto. Historically, our business started with industrial sewing machines. And from there, we got involved in steam products and lighting. We serviced the jewelry industry, dental labs, hospitals, cleaning, very wide variety, kind of crazy variety.
And that's all with the lighting, or?
No, the lighting lighting started with our industrial sewing machine business. Sewing machines need a light. You need to be able to see what you're sewing.
Yeah.
And historically, the lights were terrible. So about 17 years ago, we decided to embark on a project to build a better sewing machine light. And it started. I mean, it was a great light. In fact, the look of that light just pretty much ended only a few months ago. We had a terrific long run with it.
Okay. So how did you transition into creating a light for audiophiles?
Well, as it happens, what makes a terrific light for an industrial sewing machine also happens to make a great audiophile light or turntable light. I sometimes overlap audiophile and vinyl because I know that not all vinyl lovers are audiophiles. But,
right, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we created this light. We actually started this project about 3 years ago, and we use a we use a local design company called Mako Design. They did a brilliant design, and between myself and our sales and marketing team, we kind of figured out what we wanted, and it is terribly time consuming to design anything. But 3 years later, we launched this thing, and I would, I'm kind of embarrassed to admit how this started, but how it started was I don't work on Fridays, so I took the day off. I'm at home, I'm playing records, and I'm thinking, geez, I have a couple of the new Uberlight Flexes in my closet in boxes. I own the company. I should probably take one out and put it behind my Riga just for kicks, you know?
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. What's the worst that can happen? I've opened up a box.
Yeah.
So I haul my lazy butt downstairs and I grab the light and I plug it in. And I am like, holy crap, I cannot believe what my record cleaner left behind. I mean, I'm very studious. I'm a typical, type A audiophile. I clean my records obsessively, 4 times around, and much to my shock, there was still lots of dust left behind. And
which you probably wouldn't have noticed without that light.
And this was during the day. I mean, it's not even that it was at night, and there was no mood. It was daytime, and the difference it made was staggering to me. So I clean away. I get my record clean, and I go on. And then as I'm taking the record off, I realize that I could read. I'm pretending that I'm holding a record.
Okay.
That I could read all of a sudden I could see the dead wax. So even though I've been an audiophile since I was 16 years old, I'm only back to vinyl playing for the last 2 years. So and to be honest, 40 years ago, people were not talking about dead wax.
Right.
It wasn't the thing. So I'm reading about the dead wax, and I look at the record, and I can easily see the dead wax. Right. I can see the master mastering engineer's stamp. I believe, I don't have any of these myself, but I know that there's some bands that put cryptic messages in their dead wax.
Yeah.
And I could see it without a problem. I mean, it was easy. And I've got pretty crappy eyesight. So that's saying something.
Yeah.
And so that was like two things. And then I noticed also, putting I have a very nice turntable and very expensive cartridge. And, sometimes you put the needle in the lead and groove and it skirts in and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You're having like little fits. So I was really able to see that lead and groove. So so this is great. I'm happy camper. It's a Friday afternoon. It's my day off. I don't think really anything of it, but then I think a little bit later that night, well, I wonder, could other people have this problem? So I immedately started thinking and obsessing about it. We have a very solid business plan for these lights. It didn't include the record community,
right,
or audiophiles. So I thought to myself, well, how do I know? Is it just me? Am I the only person that would benefit? And I gathered a few names and I sent some emails. And one of the people that I had reached out to was a fellow by the name of Michael Fremer, who you may have heard of. He's pretty much the guy responsible for the resurgence of records.
Yeah, he's the one that reviews a bunch of music and
and he was the guy who was holding the vinyl fire alive when everybody said digital would kill it. He's very well respected. He's very revered. He's very humble. And so in truth, my email sat in his inbox for 3 weeks. I emailed him again and he said, yeah, sure. I'll be happy to have a look at it. So he did. And he was very gracious. And he actually said, you know what, this is great. I'm going to write a little review in Analog Planet. And then I kind of knew that we had a business.
Yeah.
And from there, it was just, we had a couple of other people, some magazines, some YouTubers, some Instagrammers, and we got it out. And in the beginning, it was just, what do you think? Is this something that you would use as a vinyl user? And nobody said they wouldn't use it.
Right. Yeah, and actually for myself too, when you emailed me, at first I was like, okay, this is a light. Well, why is this so special? But then yesterday when I unboxed it, I could see the potential, because we do a lot of used record grading, and we're always messing around with lights and making sure that it's in the right light and holding it.
Yeah,
this made sense. It hangs over your desk. You don't have to do anything special. There are 3 settings on there, or actually 6 in total, I guess.
Yeah. Well, potentially 9 different settings between.
Right. Yeah. So you have a 2, 4, and 6 watt. That's the light strength, I guess.
Correct.
And then there are 3 warmth. How do you say that?
Kelvin temperature. Yeah. 2700, 4000, and 6000. Yeah. Kelvins.
Yeah.
So cool to a warm light.
Yeah. So the warm light, I can see, when you have your record on a turntable, you just sit back, relax, and the warm light is kind of an ambient light. It's still bright. Exactly. Or if you put it on 2 watt and on ambient, it's kind of like an ambient light. But then if you put it to 6 watt and then this, what is it, 6000 K?
Yep.
That's a super bright light for if you really want to see all the details into your grooves, and if it needs a wash, or look for scratches. So it's great for record grading.
If you need to change, I had a bit of a mishap with my needle a couple of months ago. I had to. So my mother-in-law, she's a lovely lady. I love her, but she pretty much destroyed a $2,000 needle.
Ouch.
And so to put a new cartridge on really makes. And listen, no matter if you go to the dentist, they don't do it in the dark. If you really want to do a job properly, you need to have proper lighting.
Yeah.
And whether it's for cleaning your records or painting we have a great video. Anybody who has time, go to our YouTube page. We did a great video of a father and a daughter fighting over their Uberlight, and he's painting his Warhammer characters, and it's great for 1,000 things. Just so happens to be. So you asked me a question earlier about what makes it a good light for audiophiles and for vinyl lovers. So again, what makes it a good sewing machine light makes it a great light for analog use, and that's because the shaft, you kind of see it there, but that's the one with the base. So I'm just going to grab this. So it's a very long shaft, right? And it's very stiff.
Yeah, I noticed.
So if you're on an industrial machine, this can't be moving around. And the last thing you want is for a flimsy light to be hovering over your Lyra or Kotsu cartridge.
Yeah.
You don't want to have those kind of accidents. So it's very, very stiff. The other thing is that the clamp is, so our business is really a commercial B2B business.
Right.
So what makes this a great light for industrial equipment makes it a great light for records, because it's sturdy, it's stiff, it's tall enough to reach over a cover if you have a turntable with a cover. And
yeah, I noticed it's a very high quality. That right out of the box, the finish on the neck is like a soft touch almost. It's very, very stiff. I mean, you can buy task lights at IKEA or whatever, but you won't get quality like this, I think.
Yeah. Also on the sound wise, it's covered in silicone. So we have audiophiles that care about that. They don't want anything resonating in their room.
Yeah.
So it's naturally anti-resonant. I've sent it to magazines, to writers who are very concerned about adding noise into their system.
Yeah.
We measured it, 19, it's like 19 decibels at 16 centimeters. Those numbers might not be exactly accurate, but it's been measured and it meets all the regulations. It's very, very low noise. If you had your volume control all the way up, you're not going to hear noise from the light. It's very quiet.
Yeah, that's not something I have tested yet, and I honestly doubt that I, with my ears, will hear it. But I mean, I know people that have highly sensitive ears, and they might pick up on that. So, yeah. When I read your email about the noise, I was like, a lamp making noise, and then I started thinking about, oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
Well, referencing back to Michael Fremer, he has a very, very costly stereo system.
Yeah.
I mean, I could rattle off what he owns, but you can easily look it up.
Yeah.
Or your listeners can. And if he didn't hear any noise, I'm pretty comfortable in saying there's no noise.
Yeah.
And we also happen to have an opportunity to send a sample to a fellow by the name of Mark Doman, who, for those of your viewers that are audiophiles, designed arguably one of the top 2 or 3 turntables in the world. The Continuum table, I think it was about $250,000.
Yeah.
We sent the light to him through a connection through one of his distributors. Mark's in Melbourne, and he wrote back, "This is like every person who has records needs this light." In fact, he liked it so much. His parent company has now become our distributor for Australia, New Zealand, and Southeast Asia.
Oh, right on.
That was just announced last week, so very exciting.
That's a stamp of approval, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, people who are really seriously into vinyl have said, yeah, this is the only criticism that we've had, which is fair enough because it's a personal taste, is the color. Not everybody loves white. We will be starting a production run in black. Should be ready by mid-August.
Right on.
Third color, I don't know, graphite, titanium. Red. We're looking for suggestions.
Orange, blue.
We'll probably red.
Maybe.
Orange.
Yeah.
Yeah. You never know. So we could be the apple of lights at some point.
Yeah. So how many different models are there of these lights? Because I see the one behind you has a regular base, and then the one with the clamp.
Yeah, and we have a third, which is really for either a custom stereo or really any sort of a custom. I mean, for us, as we have quite a big industrial sewing business, and there are people that just want to stick it through a table. They don't want to bother with a clamp, or they don't feel it's, for whatever reasons, in a big factory it's as safe. I'm sure they're afraid people will take them home. And the base is great for credenzas. If you don't have anything to clamp onto, I believe the clamp is up to about 2 inches. Mm-hmm. But if you just don't have that, the base is terrific. Otherwise, it's the same. Because of the size of the shaft and the weight, the base is quite heavy so that it's not falling over. There's a good reason why. It's about the fifth prototype that we finally got it right.
Yeah.
And then the table mount, which is really more for commercial B2B.
Yeah.
And the other cool thing I didn't mention is that because we are selling these around the world, it's USB technology, Class A USB.
I noticed that, and then in the box it has for Canada and the US. I guess it has the 110 adapter. Yeah. So if you're selling it to Europe, you would have a 220 adapter.
Well, we don't at the moment, but as soon as we have, European distribution,
right?
We'll produce it that way. I mean, for the Australian client, they'll be made for them specifically.
Yeah.
With their different plugger.
Awesome.
So
I'm a fan of it, and even though at first I thought, it's just a light, after I tried it and I opened it, it's definitely something that we're going to use here in the business and for grading records even better. I think everyone with a turntable should have one. So you and I need to talk a little bit more about how we can get them on the website so we can sell them.
Sure. Yeah, and again, I'll be transparent. Lighting is a very competitive business. Mm-hmm. Unlike in the audio equipment world, you can price an amplifier at $100 and you can price it at $1 million. I mean, there's everything in between.
Yeah.
With lighting, you're right. People go, well, why would I buy this over an $8 light from IKEA?
Yeah.
So when they see it, they'll know why. But we also didn't even have the vinyl audiophile industry in our sites when we did the pricing.
Right.
So the pricing is actually, it's pretty fair. It's very fair.
Yeah.
If anything, the resellers are complaining they're not making enough money, but we intentionally did it that way because we want people to, you're in the online world, but we want people to go into a store, whether it's online or brick and mortar, and they'll look at the light and see the price and they'll go, okay, price of a record or two. Who cares?
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. And especially if you care about your records, then I mean, it's almost as if it's an investment.
For sure.
So
for sure. Yeah. Your record goes over something nasty on the surface.
Yep.
you know that's not doing the needle any good.
Yeah.
So
if you
and
have
I'm the sort of person that I just don't want to sit down and have to, if I start hearing pops and clicks, I'll get up and I'll clean it again. So it saves me a trip.
Yeah. So if you have this light in combination with something like a groove washer, you can, see the dirt, use the groove washer, and clean it out. Awesome. Well, thank you very much for explaining who you are, what you do, and we'll be in touch for sure about the next step in this lighting.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Take care.